Hey guys, I'm going to do an interesting comparison today using my acoustic guitar. This is a Martin D18 Cutaway, and it's a D18 standard mahogany sides and back. It's a Sitka spruce top, which is shaded in amber tone finish. And I'm just doing this acoustically. Normally, I've been gigging lately with these Dunlop Primetone 0.96 millimeter picks. I have experimented with 1.0, 1.2, 0.88, etc. I've just sort of settled on the 0.96 lately for kind of a balance of thickness and warmth, but it's still got a little bit of flex so that I can get just a little bit more nuance out of the pick. On Sunday at one of my gigs, an acoustic guitar forum friend who goes by Doc Watson fan, his name's Jim, thank you Jim, he gifted me this pick. This is a John Pearse pick. It's fairly thick. You'll notice it's not identically, it's not a teardrop shape per se. There's actually kind of an oblong slope to the top of the pick. I really like it. It's very comfortable. And so I can kind of choke down on the pick and it still holds in my fingers quite nicely. So I'm going to compare that, but when I was checking it out, I found that it sounded very similar to my Blue Chip TD50. I also have a Blue Chip TD45, and I have a Blue Chip TD40, and I also have, here we go, the Blue Chip CT55, and this is a different shape, but I really like this pick. I'm going to showcase a Wegen 1.2 millimeter. And lastly, Jim, aka Doc Watson fan, he also gifted me with this Dunlop Ultex. Now, I have used 0.73 millimeter Dunlop Ultex teardrop shape, but not this shape. Being thinner with a lot more flex, it is brighter, so I expect that. So let's see what we think. I'm going to start out with the 0.96. Sorry for that long intro, but here we go. Here is the Martin D18 with the Dunlop Ultex. At some point I may switch over to a recent acoustic guitar that I added, the Gibson Dove, which is very open and pristine, and it might showcase the nuances of these picks nicely. So let's go. Here we go. So just wanted to give you a baseline. I will probably play shorter passages to compare picks. That was the Dunlop. I'm going to go straight over here to the John Pearse. Those are fairly long passages. Now I'm going to just play something very short so you can just hear the picks back to back. So I'll just stay on this Dunlop pick. All right, that's the Dunlop. Here's Blue Chip TD50. to the John Pearse. Go back to the TD50 blue chip. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I'm hearing. The TD50 sounds just a little brighter, but I'm really loving the warmth, and there's a good sense of brightness on this John Pearse. Here's the Pearse again. Now, I flipped it around to where the slope was this way. Let me turn it around the other way, see if it sounds different. Maybe not so much, but it does afford me a different grip, and depending on how I'm holding the pick, sometimes affects how it sounds. If I choke down real tight, then I'm making the pick a lot stiffer because there's less flex, and that may alter and affect the tone. Let me come back to the TD50, and let me articulate. Let me play, just arpeggiate those passages. That's the blue chip. Here's the Pearse. A little bit warmer, and this might be thicker, I'm not sure. It could be the way that I'm holding it. Musical. I like the warmer. My guitars are bright, but there's still a lot of detail and clarity coming out. Alright, so I think arpeggiating is going to be most helpful because I can hear a little more accurately. Let's see. That's the John Pearse. I'm going to come back to the TD50. We'll bring the other picks in a minute. Alright, let's bring the other picks in. Here's a TD45. That was the TD50. And that's the 45. I'm going to come back to the 50. I'm going to bring that John Pearse pick back into the competition here. Here's the Pearse. I really like the shape of this pick, just the purchase that I get on the pick. It just feels right. And I've always played teardrop shapes, so here is the TD40. So as I've always found, the thinner I go on picks, and a TD40 is not a thin pick. I think it's a 1 millimeter. It might be 1.2. I'm not sure. The thinner the pick, usually the brighter they sound, and that's what I'm hearing. Let me come back to the TD50 after hearing that TD40. All right, I'm going to do the John Pearse again, back to back right now. With that was the TD50 blue chip. So there's a really nice, what I'm hearing, I don't know if this is coming through in the recording, there's a warmth with this pick. It takes me just a little while to adapt to like how it feels, the shape. Once I get dialed into that, no problem. So excuse the human element when I'm not fretting cleanly or playing clearly. I'm enjoying the John Pearse pick a lot. Let me bring in that big blue chip, the CT55, since it's the thickest and it might be the closest to the sound, the warmer sound that I'm hearing from the Pearse. That sounded really good. That's the CT55. We'll come back to the Pearse. All right, I'm going to come back to that blue chip CT55. Wow, I haven't played this pick in a while. I really like this pick. That sounds good. So the Pearse, but I think those John Pearse picks are a lot less more money than the blue chips. All right, let me just bring in, and these are different. These are going to sound brighter. This is the Wegen 1.2. Really nice balance, very good sounding pick. These holes, there's a comfort. They're just kind of grippy, so I really like that. Let me come back to the blue chip CT55. back to the Wegen. Nice sound and pick. I mean, none of these are dogs, and obviously the guitar sounds great. To me, I love it. This is the John Pearse. So that was a John Pearse. I just kind of got into playing and I just thought I'd let that flow. Here's the CT55 Blue Chip. Really nice. I'm just going to come back quickly to the Wegen. Hearing a little more brightness out of the Wegen. It's a nice sound. And then come back to the Pearse. I think single note runs. Actually, I'm liking the Wegen. I don't know. A little bright, maybe a little shrill, strident. Let's try single note runs on the CT55. I think the CT55 and the John Pearse might sound a little sweeter on single note runs. By the way, my guitar, the action is a little bit low, so it's a little bit buzzy for my preference. All right, so now I'm going to switch over to a different guitar. This is my Gibson Dove. I just got this. maple back and sides. It's a 2023 Dove Original with the antique natural top, and I'm really enjoying it. Make sure my tuner is right. But what's nice about this guitar is brighter, and every note stands in its own space, being maple, just a little bit more, and I think it might showcase the differences of the picks. So I'll just start. I'll stay on the Blue Chip CT55. Very resonant guitar, a little bit brighter, so some of those nuances might come out just a little bit better. Let me play something just a little different, a little bluesier. Carried away. This is it's got a really nice chunky kind of little chuggy sound. All right, so that was the Blue Chip CT55. Let's go to the John Pearse. This may not be as fair of a comparison because I'm doing a little bit of palm muting for that chuggy sound. Might be better just to hear the picks played clean without palm muting, as that can affect it. Alright, so that's the Pearse. Here's the Blue Chip CT55. Come back to the Pearse. As you can tell, I'm favoring the CT55 Blue Chip and the John Pearse the most. Let's bring in the Blue Chip TD50. that's good too. Those are probably the most analogous. Let me just show you the blue chip TD45. They're getting brighter as they're getting thinner. That's the 45, here's the 40. Yep, getting brighter. Let me throw in the Wegen. Wegen's an interesting balance. Even though it's thicker, it has a brightness to it and a warmth. And lastly, and I didn't really show this pick to you, but this is the Dunlop Ultex 0.73 millimeter. So very bright. If I'm strumming, let's see again. That's the 0.73. Let's come up the food chain, 0.45, I'm sorry, the TD45 blue chip. Changed my little progression. Here's the TD50. Sorry, I know I'm changing the progression. I get inspired in a different way. It's hard to just neck that down. Let me do that same thing on the TD55. That's the CT55. And here's the John Pearse. Alright, so that's the Gibson Dove with those picks. Let me play that same thing. I'll stay on the John Pearse. Here's the D18 again. Here's the CT55. Alright, so I'm going to stop this there. I know it's a lot of listening back and forth, and I did not replicate identically everything, so I apologize. I know there will be criticisms. You're welcome to that. I'm just doing the best I can, trying to keep things real, close enough that you are hearing the nuances and the differences. So I hope this was helpful. What do you guys like? What are you hearing? Is there a preference? Do you like the brighter picks? Do you like the thicker ones? Blue chip, John Pearse, what do you think? If you're new to the channel, please click on the bell and subscribe. You'll be notified of new content. I'm always throwing up different stuff, sometimes variations of the same stuff, but hopefully it's helpful. Thanks for watching.